We also commemorate the memories of those who fought with Ataturk, who fought to help our state in its fledgling days. Taking this opportunity, I would also like to commemorate everyone, all our heroes, all our veterans, and all our martyrs who have kept our homeland for the last millennium. The freedom of our people, the survival of our state, and the development of our state was made possible through hard work of many people, and may we be grateful to them forever. These days are great opportunities for us to understand where we're coming from and where we are headed towards. And the centenary of our republic will be celebrated in 2023, and we have designated some target for ourselves, and we have tried to turn this into an opportunity as well. We believe that these assessments will also serve as the foundation of our future accomplishments. The conquest of Istanbul 2053 will be the 600th anniversary, and we will also be commemorating another significant anniversary in 2071, which will be the anniversary of the Manzikert battle. Turkey's struggle for development was spearheaded by Gazi Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, and he always recommended us to follow science and logic. And in order to keep alive this motto, some people have tried to dogmatize him and his efforts. And obviously, our people will judge these people. The owner of the state is not no one other than the nation itself. We've always adhered to that belief, and in every field we have done our best to render the best services to our people, the services that they deserve. But some people thought themselves as the masters of the nation and slaves of the West. We have fought against these people, and once again we have brought a historic perspective to our country. With the War of Independence, our nation freed itself of its shackles, and we have always adhered to these principles. And like I said, we have broken these chains of oppression. And rather than focusing on the interests of a small clique, we did our best to create benefits for the entire nation. Of course, the struggle was not easy. For years, a handful of elites actually reaped the riches of this country. They have tried all sorts of methods, and they have tried to stop us. And they lost their privileges, and as such they were taking sides, and they have found allies to themselves within the country. Turkey in the last 18 years has gone through a lot, and I believe that we need to look at what has happened through this lens. We have seen heinous machinations of tutelage and bloodshed wreaked by terrorist organizations. Our country was beset by many sabotage and coup attempts, and behind these all, you had this motive. Turkey started a war of independence 100 years ago, and we are still continuing this fight. That's why we were subjected to such a deep and heinous attack. Now, if we had accepted the narrow limitations that were imposed on us, if we had caved in, if we had done what the powers of tutelage did, then we would not have experienced any of these problems. But then we would not have been able to look into the eye of our nation. We would then have failed those who believed in us. They would not have prayed for us. and we would not have anything to say to younger generations. On the path of democracy and development, we have waged a battle, and the biggest witness, the biggest supporter of this battle has been the nation itself. And God is our witness. God is our witness. Atahan will never stop. The flag will never be taken down. The country will never be divided. Our country will grow larger. Our state will grow stronger. And as we were saying these things, we were always being honest and we were always being genuine. Every promise that we made, we believed in these promises, and in order to honor these promises, we fought day and night with all our might. Today, Turkey, not just within its own borders, but across its borders as well, is a source of strength, is a source of hope. And if we have reached this position, we owe it to the struggle that we have been engaged in with our nation. When we look at the basic indicators, we see that from the inception of the Republic, we have made a great progress. The population of our nation has increased from 13 million to 83 million people. The number of schools from 5,000 increased all the way up to 88,000. Number of teachers and academics from 12,000 to 1,143,000. Total number of students from 350,000 to 24 million in less than a century. Number of physicians from 1,000 to 174,000. Number of hospital beds from 10,000 to a quarter of a million. When we established the Republic in Turkey, the number of there were 500 workshops and factories that employed a sizable number of people. But today, thankfully, number of small enterprises that employ more than 10 people is almost 200,000. Above 150 people, 26,000. Above 250 employees, large enterprises, 5,000 enterprises in total. Number of railroads in Turkey has also increased. At the time, we had a limited length of highways and railways, but today these numbers have also increased significantly. We have fast train lines as well. 14,000 kilometers of railways in total is what we have in Turkey right now. So we have made such a big progress. The total number of foreign investments in Turkey was around $50 million at the time during the inception of the Republic. In the last 18 years, this has increased to 223 billion US dollars. Turkey's irrigation and energy production potential was untapped into, but today we're talking about 6.6 million hectare areas where we can implement irrigation. Our installed capacity, local resource, has increased all the way up to 58,000 megawatts. The locality rate in energy production has surpassed 62%, from healthcare to education, from security to justice, from transportation to production, from sport to social aid. In all of these areas, all across our nation, in 81 provinces in Turkey, we have surpassed the level of development of civilized nations. We have established the necessary infrastructure. Despite the efforts of internal and external detractors, we are making progress, and our armed forces is making history. And from Iraq to Syria, from Libya to Cyprus, from Karabakh to Jerusalem, Turkey is taking ownership of the heritage of our history, and if needs be, we are in a position to put our lives on the line. And in terms of international and regional matters, we are a country that has a lot of sway, and a country whose words are heeded by many, many other countries. Do we not have problems? Of course we do, but thankfully none of these problems are insurmountable problems that we cannot solve, and that makes us very happy indeed. Dear friends, just like at the time of the War of Independence and right after the War of Independence, in the last 18 years, we have attached great importance to economy. And actually, we have made great strides throughout 18 years, despite the explicit and implicit attacks that we were subjected to. And when you look at political and economic indicators of certain countries, you see that they were portrayed in a more positive light than Turkey, because some people did not want Turkey to surpass these countries. We went through the EU accession bid, and in many international platforms, unfortunately, our efforts were thwarted. Rating agencies, international rating agencies, their scores are not assessed based on objective criteria. No one could allege this. When you look at the Western media, you see a plethora of criticisms against Turkey, and none of these criticisms are in good faith and are just. In Eastern Mediterranean, we have seen concrete examples of this. Against Turkey, there is an unfair, illegal, and unjust series of attempts, and these people are supported without any reasoning, without any substantiation. Those who claim to advocate for democracy are actually standing in the way of Turkey, just because Turkey is not supporting coup implementers and is instead supporting those who are oppressed. In such a climate, we have gone through certain hurdles in terms of economy, and all across the world there's an economic turbulence which was aggravated by the coronavirus pandemic, and Turkey has managed to weather the storm with a limited amount of losses. But those who badmouth our economy repeatedly actually are not doing this in good faith. It doesn't take a technical analysis to see their true colors, to see their true motives. As you know, after the demolition of the Ottoman Empire, especially after 1838 Balta Limanı Agreement, the capitulations followed suit, and in line with that, the empire became heavily indebted. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk and the founders of our republic, one of their biggest gifts to us as a nation was to actually do away with the capitulations, despite all the threats and all the difficulties at the time. Now we would like to take this to the next level. We are incumbent. When we became incumbent, Turkey owed 23.5 billion US dollars to the IMF. What did we do? We came into power, and in 2013, in May, what we did was we paid off the entirety of this debt to the IMF, and right now we do not owe anything to the IMF. We have no such relations with the IMF. And on that day, well, in the past there were capitulations, and today you have the IMF. And these people told us as if they held the political mandate. They would say to us, we would ask them whether we would serve our we served our debt on time, and they said yes. And if that's the case, all they can do is check the accounts, but they cannot preach to us politically, because I am the prime minister of this country. I would say, if I am the prime minister, then this is my message to the IMF, I would say. And right now, like I said, we do not have any such relations with the IMF, and may we never go back into their hands ever again. Turkey is being attacked through the shackles of interest rates and loans, and these are what I would call modern capitulations, and we are engaged in a historic battle against all of these. We are not compromising from the rules of a free market economy, and growth will obviously come from the private sector, and obviously money has no bounds and has no nationality. This remains our motto. We continue to work tirelessly towards growth, job creation, export, and this will be our developmental model in the future. And we continue to overcome the political hurdles that are thrown in our way, and we continue to make a progress on this path. Our citizens' hard work, their labor will never be undervalued. We have never let that happen, and neither will we in the future. Our developmental policies, our implementations are always centered towards job creation. Unemployment is going down, as you see all around us, and we continue to create jobs, we continue to increase the overall welfare of our nation. Otherwise, we do not believe that any country can survive in the absence of welfare for all. That's why our objective is to make sure that Turkey is one of the 10 biggest countries in the world in terms of economy, and for that to happen, we need to make sure that we disseminate wealth to 83 million people in this country, and inshallah, in economy as well, just like in many other areas, we will accomplish great things, and we will become one of the top 10 economies in the world. And I do believe that this will be the biggest testament of our appreciation of Gazi Mustafa Kemal Ataturk's memory. Once again, I would like to commemorate Ataturk on the 82nd anniversary of his death. And again, taking this opportunity, I would like to commemorate the memory of all our martyrs, all our veterans, and all our statespeople, all our spiritual leaders. May they rest in peace. And I'd like to thank the higher board of Ataturk Culture and History for organizing this event. I'd like to compliment them for bringing us together, and I'd like to greet you all with my deepest regards. Thank you very much indeed.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımıza hitaplarından dolayı teşekkür ediyoruz. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, anma törenimiz sona ermiştir. Arz ederim. Çok değerli konuklar, sizlere de çok teşekkür ediyoruz katılımınızdan dolayı. Sayın Cumhurbaşkanımızı saygılarımızla uğurluyoruz efendim.